Welcome to Leveling Up the Podcast with Alethia Tucker. I'm so happy that you're listening today. My goal is to bring something new, something promising. I plan to bring conversation, resources, and wisdom around the things that are holding us back from going for our best. We'll talk about everyday life and careers. I'll bring us dialogue designed to dig deep and identify our passions. We'll talk about the limits that you need to let go of and the promise that you need to grab a hold of. I'll interview women who bring valuable insight to the table. We'll have opportunities for Q&A, and we'll talk resources to help along the way. There are levels to this, and we'll hit them all, starting at the ground floor. We all have dreams, and now is our time to level up. Ground floor. I feel like I am constantly in a battle with my house. My house. There are times when I can walk through the door and I feel like I've won the battle, and it is so winning. It is so freeing. But then there are times when I realize that I really haven't won the battle, and I feel so defeated, so depleted, really kind of feel like I'm overwhelmed and I don't know which way to go. You might be saying, wow, what in the world that goes on in her house can make her feel this way? It's a battle. What kind of battle? It's a battle with clutter. I know it might not seem like a whole lot to many of you, but for me, it changes my entire demeanor. My temperament changes. I just go to an entirely different place when I am overwhelmed by clutter. And I think about things that I can do to eliminate it. I think about grabbing the mail as I come in the house and stopping right in the garage and throwing things out before I even, bring in the junk mail, and then immediately doing something with the bills before I can even put them on the desk. I remember there were times when little things like that seemed to elevate my blood pressure as soon as I thought about them, as soon as I thought about how they would start to pile up. I know. I keep saying it, but it really does sound, and I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Clutter just really takes me to a different place. And after years and years of dealing with it, I've gotten much better, in part because, I've kind of helped my family to realize that they don't want to trigger me in that way. So they've worked on making sure that things are straight. But if I'm drowning in clutter, then everything around me seems to drown, in all seriousness. I can have the best of days and walk into a house that's out of order, and my mood immediately falls down. On the other hand, I can walk into a newly cleaned house and rejoice from the minute I hit the foyer all the way to the kitchen. Yes. It makes me that happy. The smell of Clorox makes me happy. I know I'm a little different, but I would venture to think that there's somebody out there who's a little like me. So how do you remedy this? How do you remedy those things? It might not be clutter for you. It might be something else in your house that just triggers you to go to a place that's not so desirable. How do you remedy this? You look for ways to make peace. It's all about having a peace of mind for me. And clutter just doesn't help the situation at all. So how did I go about trying to eliminate that thing that was trying to steal my peace of mind? So I have a spot in my house, and it's in my sitting area. It's my little girl cave. It's not real big, but it's big enough for me to sit, to watch TV, to sit and do nothing, to read a book, to do a little work if necessary, to just unwind. It's a place in the house where if I get to it, if I walk through those doors and see that things are out of order, if I can get to that little place, my little girl cave, I can save my sanity, even if it's just for half an hour or so. But oftentimes it'll get me to the place where I can just calm down and realize that a little clutter can be corrected. And there are some things that I can do to get to a place where I'm calm again and not let this continually steal my peace. So, what is it again that triggers you? Find out what that is. Find a solution, even if it's for just a minute, because it's not worth your peace of mind. So here's my affirmation, and you can take it and frame it to work with you, whatever that trigger is for you. So I say to myself, avoiding stress is so incredibly important to me. There are things that will definitely trigger me. In my place, in my case, it's clutter. I will do all that I can to eliminate what is trying to rob me of my stability. I won't feel guilty. I'll do what's necessary to gather and to maintain a tranquil environment. Why? Because a healthy me is the best me, and I'm better all the way around when my mind is at peace.
Main level.
And welcome to Leveling Up the Podcast with Alethia Tucker. I am still here at the All-Star Authors Conference with Taria Avant, and I am blessed to just interview some amazing people. And it's no different right now. I am so happy to have with me Karen Larkin from Karenna's Design Studio. I was able to hear her last night, and she dropped some powerful nuggets to us last night. And I am so excited that she's here today to be able to share some of this with you all, my risers, my leveling up audience. So, Karen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Tell us a little more about you.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I'm an interior designer with over 15 years experience, and I help men and women create peaceful and tranquil spaces that will help with creativity as well as productivity, help decrease stress and anxiety, all by improving their overall well-being.
Wow. I love that. I love that.
You.
I bet you many of you never even thought about being able to improve your lives just by recreating a peaceful environment. Let me tell you, this woman has a patent on doing that, and she's going to be sharing some of that with you today. And I am so tickled. I have to, in full disclosure, tell you that when I heard her last night, she was speaking to my soul, particularly when she was talking about clutter and what it does to your frame of mind, what it does to your mental. You know, at this stage in the game, we all have things messing with our mental, right? And just what she was able to do and how she even came about realizing that this was something that other people needed, and it was more than just design, okay? It had some well-being in there for your health. Tell us how you even started with this and what kind of brought you to the realization that you could really do this and create some peace for people.
Well, actually, all of it started with me first, and I shared with a lot of, well, I shared last night that I was once in a space where I felt lost, didn't have any direction, just didn't know what God was calling me to. I knew that there was a greater call and purpose for my life. I just didn't know what. And actually, in my own home, it just didn't feel right. It felt dark, cold. I felt a heaviness in my house and just couldn't pinpoint it. And I kind of gave them the story of when it all changed for me. And it changed just by taking some curtains down in my husband's office and putting up some different ones. And instantly the atmosphere shifted. I could literally feel that heaviness disappear, go away. And it was in that moment God spoke to me. This is an indication of things being redone in your life. And so I then start redoing every space in my house. And what I once felt, that heaviness, it was gone. So now I could literally feel that peace, that calmness in my space, all because I just started redoing things in my house. But in the midst of it, was when the pandemic hit, and like most of all Americans, we find ourselves confined to our homes. And so people then began to realize they hated their home. They hated their space because we never took the time to literally live in our space. It was almost just like our space is just somewhere we just sleep, eat, whatever. But we never truly lived in our space. So I start posting little things that I was doing in my own space when it came to redoing. And it started out showing people that you can actually do these things without spending a whole lot of money. And I had a few people that reached out to me and said, well, can you come do this for me? Can you come into my home? And I was like,
I wonder.
I guess so. But I had no clue. I had no clue what I was doing. Well, in 2020, during the pandemic, I was let go from my job. But it was the best thing that could have happened to me. And so Karenna's Design Studio was actually birthed during the pandemic, all because I started redoing things in my home. And how I knew that the call was greater was from what my clients would share with me. After I redid their space, they start sharing with me how peaceful it was, that it didn't feel the same, that their lives wasn't the same. And so I was like, okay, God, I get it. I'm not just an interior designer. I don't just decorate or create beautiful things. I literally go in and shift the atmosphere in someone's home.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is powerful. For me, clutter totally shapes how my day goes. It shapes my feelings. It shapes so much. And I too, when the pandemic started, I went from being in the office to working from home. And I was already, it had just been a few years since my dad had passed. We had another death in the family. And during the pandemic, I also lost a very dear cousin who was like a sister to me. And all of that, coupled with having to look at my house every day and not having it the way that I wanted it, really, really led to some pretty depressing days. So last night when you talked about how changing, just by changing curtains or doing some simple things in life to really change your environment and to bring about that peace, that really hit home. And to my audience, I have to say, I know I'm not the only one who doesn't like clutter, for one, and who can use some change in their lives, to really bring about some peace. And that is awesome. So say that there's somebody out there right now who could really, really benefit from some peaceful interior designing in their life right now. What are some tips that you would give them? And of course, I'm going to ask you how they can reach out to you and get you to help them as well. So what are some tips that you could give?
Well, there are three factors that I spoke on last night that that instantly will give you peace in your space. And one is decluttering, living in a clutter-free environment. And I like to share with people that the clutter that's in your space is the best indication of the clutter that's in your life. And when you start getting rid of the clutter in your space, then you start paying attention to the clutter that's in your life, and you start getting rid of clutter in your life. So they basically go hand in hand. You start decluttering your house and get rid of things, it automatically shifts to the inside, and you start getting rid of things that no longer serve you. So decluttering, and one way to do it, the best way to do it, is what I call a surface clean. Everything that you can see within your eyesight, start cleaning it out. Get rid of it. All the stuff that's on the counter, guess what? Clean it off. Get rid of it. There shouldn't be a whole lot of stuff on the counter. Just small things strategically placed on the counter. So I tell people, do a surface clean. That's the best way to do piece. Then we talk about color. Identifying your color, the color that motivates you, the one that inspires you. And I told them to do an exercise where they close their eyes and they go to that place that brings them peace. And then I would tell them to envision like the colors that they see, what's around them. And I said, so whatever that place is for you that brings you peace, and that color or whatever that you visualize that you see, then that's your color. So color. And then the last one is setting the mood. What kind of lighting do you have in your space? And we all need some type of soft lighting in our space, because that soft lighting is what sets the mood. So there's lighting by two sources, natural and artificial. So those are the three factors. The quickest way to get to create that peaceful environment is living in a clutter-free environment, your color, and setting the mood when we talk about lighting. And so as a bonus, what I did was I also, which I will share with your audience, I have what I call the fundamental five. They call their name? What I call the fundamental five, which is 5 essential tips that I give, or I have it in an ebook that you can do in your space without ever buying any furniture. Yes.
Oh, that's great. And you're going to be able to give them that.
Yes,
okay,
I am.
Okay,
and
good,
they can
good,
go
good.
and download it. Yes.
Awesome.
And they will have it at their fingertips.
Awesome.
Yes.
Now, in your interior design, you do this in, where are you based?
I'm located in a small town called Milledgeville, Georgia.
Okay.
But I do travel, and I do this as well as virtual. So I can do in person or virtual.
That's awesome. That means everybody out there can tap into Karen,
Yes.
Okay? And you can get something done in your house. And so what do your virtual sessions look like? Do you work on just one section of the house, or do you do like a whole house, or whatever they desire?
It's whatever they desire.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it is a whole house, then we're still going to break those up in segments. But I literally, if it's virtual, we do a video call, and I literally look at your space. We talk about what it is that the main thing is what you want your space to look like, or how you envision your space, and then how you want to feel in that space. And then I just have a basic conversation like I'm talking with you, and I get to know my clients so I can help them better to strategize their space, to be able and give them some great things to do to be able to create that space that they so desire.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. So she is able to do this with you in person or virtually, and she's able to basically do whatever is needed for your house. So we are definitely going to make sure you know how to reach out to her to get this information. Oh my goodness, this has been, this is awesome.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely awesome. So tell me, I know you're here at the Authors Conference.
Yes.
So have you written a book? Are you an author?
Yes, I am.
Tell us about it.
Well, I have a book right now that will be out in January or February. It's entitled Peace Within These Walls. And I'm actually teaching you or talking about interior design and using the design elements and principles to use to create, once again, that peaceful environment. But it's in a book, so it's a guide to creating the space that you so desire. So I'm pre-selling right now. And so you can go to peacewithinthesewalls.com and pre-order your book. But this is the beautiful thing about my book. It's a hardcover book. And as an interior designer, I use books as an accessory piece into and incorporate it into my design. So you can incorporate my book into your designs.
Into your interior design at your place. Yes. And you know, that is so true. You know, when you go in model homes and you always see that there are books out, which is something that they're really using to stage to make the home look more beautiful. So this is a book that is not only gonna make your home look beautiful, but it's gonna give you some tips on making your home beautiful. Okay, you win here. You win on both occasions. This is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, you know, your story of how you started out during the pandemic. Tell us more about that. Tell us what you would tell other women who are starting and wanting to become an entrepreneur, you know, and how they really have to step out and, you know, conjure up those confidence factors.
Well, one thing that I'm going to say, and this is the same thing that I tell my girls, and they're 20 and 16, is that you got to follow your heart.
Yes.
You got to follow your heart. Find your passion. And how do you find that passion? It's that thing that you talk about all the time. It's that thing that makes you excited. You wake up with it on your mind. You go to sleep with it on your mind. And you will do it for free.
Yes.
Because you love to do it. And so I just say follow your heart. And this is the thing. I worked for, you know, someone and worked for them for a few years. And then, of course, like a lot of other businesses that struggled, I was let go. And I knew that it was something that I wanted to do, interior design. But I thought, okay, I'll just do this on the side. It'll just kind of be like my side hustle. And God simply spoke to me like that as long as you're working for someone, the gift that I've given you, it's going to always be your side hustle. And he said,
that's powerful.
I'm a God that will never be second. So as long as you stay on somebody else's job, you're going to always put me second. So he had to shake up some things because he knew the plan and purpose that he had for my life. And so, and now I know that I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking in my calling. It's also my ministry. So I tell people, I don't just decorate and make things beautiful. I literally transform people's lives. And one of my slogans, I actually have two: live in peace to be at peace. And the other one is transform your space, transform your life. And so it's much bigger than what we can see with our eyes. It's actually helping us to become who God truly, truly created us to be. And it starts with your space first.
It starts with your space first. What's in your heart? You know, what are you passionate about? And something she just said that really, really hit is, you know, as long as you're out there doing something else for somebody else, you're not really being a good steward, is basically what you were saying, over what God has given you. You know? So what is it that you're supposed to do that you're not doing? Because you're busy doing something for somebody else to help their dreams to come true while your dream is still just kind of sitting idle. That's powerful, and that's definitely something to think about. Tap into your passion. Tap into your passion. Oh my goodness. Any other tips? I know that you also you are a minister's wife.
Yes,
right?
I am.
Yes,
Yes, I am. And I had to learn that I had this misconception that ministry was, of course, getting up on Sunday mornings, standing in the pulpit preaching. And a few years ago, some things happened or transitioned in my life that I realized that I was called as well, but it wasn't in the same. It wasn't in the same way that my husband was called, and so my ministry is to women, and I'm not. We are very, very non-traditional. Me and my husband, very non-traditional, and so. It started out with he gave me Girl Power, which that's my platform, and so Girl Power covers a whole lot of stuff. But what I had to realize is what the things that God commissions me to do. It's not necessarily for the traditional church setting. He uses me like outside of the church.
Wow.
But if you never connect with me, or even when I do an event, you will never know, because even the title sometimes doesn't say ministry at all. But you have to be there, or you have to attend to see how God uses me. And he uses me totally different than what most people would think as far as the preacher's wife.
Right.
And of course, I'm a mother of two beautiful young ladies, 20 and 16. And so, and then me and my husband also have we do a marriage retreat, and we have not done one since the pandemic. So in 2023, we're going to start back doing those. We have a platform that called Marriage Still Matters. And so we are excited about that. And so there is just so many things. Yes, so many things. And then I have Karenna's Home Decor, which is an online store where I sell home accessories. And then I have my signature candles.
This right here smells good.
So Karenna's has exclusive. I think I have 5 scents, I think 5 or 6 that's exclusive only to Karenna's Design Studio. So if you get one of these candles, you won't get this scent anywhere else, because they're exclusive just for Karenna's Designs. Yes, and basically, even when the book, I talk about aromatherapy, and we all know aromatherapy and through bath in your house, scents are very, very, very important. And it's important too to our mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. It's scents. And so it started by leaving a candle in every design as a gift to my clients when I finished. And so as a result of it, they're like, I love that scent. Where can I get it from? And I was like, me. And so it was through that, something as simple as a gesture, for my way of just saying thank you and I appreciate you.
Yes.
This right here is started out as a gift, but now it is
a part of your line.
Yes, it is.
That's awesome. She has an online store, y'all. And I apologize because, this is a conference going on, and it's a lively conference.
Yes,
so
it is.
We hope that you can hear us.
And so with this store, we have candles. We got home accessories. I love pillows. I talk about pillows in my book. Also, you got to download the ebook because I talk about pillows there. So, you just got to go to the store, and that website is shop.Karenna's designs with an S. .com.
And we're going to have all this down in the information section. So have no fear. Have no fear. What other resources are there that you would like to recommend to our audience?
Ooh.
Is there anything else at all?
No, you got to come to Karenna's Design. You got to come to the store. You got to reach out to me. You got to contact me. I am your interior designer.
That's it.
So you got to connect with me. So if you're struggling with something, you don't quite know how to put it together, you got to contact with me. You got to connect with me. Because, see, I'm not really just going to create something beautiful. But see, I'm going to create something that's going to comfort you. to help get you to the next level in your life.
Yes. And ladies, I want you all to be inspired. This is a woman who went after what she knows God had placed in her heart. She didn't do it 20 years ago. She did it just a few years ago. I'm telling you, we can do this at any point in our lives. Don't feel like there's a certain point where you have to say, okay, I'm not going to do this. You need to pursue your purpose. Pursue what is in your heart and do what it is that you know you are designed to do. Karen is a perfect example of this. Perfect example.
You.
Connect with her. Please connect with her. Her design is much more than just design. Her design is designing peace in your life as well. And that's something that we all need. Am I right? I know I am.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
And I want to give them the free gift.
Yes, please do.
So if you go to createpeaceathome.com, you can download the ebook, which is I call it the Fundamental 5. I give you 5 essential elements that you can use together in a space that's going to instantly create that peaceful environment that you desire. It's 5 essential elements that you need, and you don't ever have to buy any furniture. You can even repurpose what you download the ebook, createpeaceathome.com, get your free book. It's going to give you those 5, the fundamental 5, that's what I call it. It's going to give you those elements that you can use in your space that's going to create that peaceful environment for you.
Beautiful. Be sure you go and get that. I mean, you're getting this for free. This is going to get you started. And then to finish things off, you're going to talk to Karen.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely awesome.
Thank you for
I am
having
so
me.
excited that I got to talk to you. I know that the audience is going to be able to glean a whole lot from this. And we'll have you back again.
Yes.
Because I know you're going to keep doing things, you're going to keep doing books. There's going to be plenty that we can talk to you about.
I am excited about what's to come.
Yeah.
And just being at this conference has just kicked me in a whole other gear. And I mean, I'm just excited. I'm excited about what God is getting ready to do in the next chapter, the next phase of all of this, because I truly love, I'm passionate about what I do. I believe everybody deserves to live in a peaceful environment. So please connect with me. Please reach out to me. And thank you so much for just having me. Like, this is the best thing, just being here. So I'm excited.
It's been wonderful having her here. All right.
Well, thank you.
So thanks again. Thank you all for watching. Remember that it is never, ever too late to level up, to get to the level that you need to be at, to thrive in life. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care.
The hunger to thrive is satisfied by a life that feasts on purpose. So how do you get to this purpose? Well, there are a few things that you must first recognize. First, you have to recognize that you have a profound journey and you must plug into it. Secondly, chances are you have a reinvention in you that is just burning to rise. Third, you have a story that is begging to be told. All of these things plug into the reveal of your purpose, and they tie into a legacy, your legacy. And it's a legacy that you owe to your future generations to preserve. Now, I just laid out a blueprint, and they include things that I am passionate about and processes that I've mastered. When you talk purpose, it can be so overwhelming. That's why I coach the way that I do, around the things that I do, so that we can bring the results that you want. So again, I've laid out a blueprint for purpose. When are you going to start to build? And secondly, how can I help you?
The Loft.
Welcome to The Loft. I was so excited today to have with me Karen Adams Larkin. And as usual, we asked her before she left, what are some resources that she can recommend to you, my audience? First of all, how do you get in touch with Karen? Karen is with Karenna's Design Studio. Her Facebook page is Karen Adams Larkin and Karenna's Design Studio. Her website, karenasdesigns.com, and her email, karenasdesigns@gmail.com. Don't worry if you didn't get it, because it is definitely located in the notes section of this podcast. Resources that she recommends are, of course, her freebies for starters. And she has a freebie that talks about the 5 fundamental elements to transform your space. Head on over to createpeaceathome.com. Again, createpeaceathome.com. Also, she has a book, Peace Within These Walls. You can pre-order this book. It is on the way and promises to be something that you definitely want to get a hold of. And you can pre-order it at peacewithinthesewalls.com. And that's it. Okay, we've reached the end of the episode. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen. As you catch the elevator down, if you feel so inclined, rate, review, subscribe, and share with a friend. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember, every day is a new opportunity, and it's never too late to level up.